Yeah, I just kind of thought this week I'd give you sort of a walkthrough of the Academy, show you what's in there and what it
Yes.
looks like. So the Academy is broken into different modules. Here's a welcome over here on the right, and it kind of explains what's in there. Company decides about. It all starts with a business plan. Before anyone's going to give any money to start a business, they want to see a business plan, 3 to 5 years. In 60 days Okay, so the finance section, again, is one of those really important things where, just like logistics, there's all the important key performance indicators. It starts with a welcome, of course. There's a welcome video that explains what you're going to see in here and how it all works. And then I wrote a book. It's called Rock Your Restaurant, and it's literally 30 years of history of how I got into the restaurant business with no restaurant experience, how I learned how to make money, and a lot of the mistakes I made along the way that you can avoid so that you can be profitable right from the get-go. And then these are the tools I use to be really, really profitable. So daily break-even is a lesson. We can dive into that. A daily break-even is literally a summation of your monthly expenses divided by 30, and it tells you what does it cost you to open the doors every single day, put the key in the lock, open the door, put the lights on, have staff ready to serve customers, have food in the walk-in, and ready to go. Everything's there, and whether you serve 5 customers or 500 customers that day, what does it cost you to just stand there? And it might be $1,000, it might be $5,000 a day, depending on the size of your restaurant. And if you're not hitting that sales number every single day, there are certain days that you might be below that number. You're losing money on that day when you could be losing less money by closing instead of being open. So this is a complete exercise that teaches you that. So here's just an example of one of the videos and how we train people.
Spreadsheet is also vitally important. For many of us, every night in our restaurants is not a busy night. But on your slower nights, are you still making money? If not, you might want to consider closing on those nights to save money. This spreadsheet will guide you on this decision. You may need your bookkeeper's help to begin. Start by running a profit and loss statement for the last calendar year.
So this is a tutorial, but it's also in PDF form, like I said, if you like to read and kind of learn by reading versus watching a video. But then we have these complete turnkey spreadsheets with every one of these lessons court that have automatically calculating formulas that are locked, so you can't mess them up. But these videos or the PDFs literally teach you what's the concept, what do the numbers mean, where do I find these numbers, how do I plug them into the template, and then what should the result look like once I do the exercise, and some common mistakes to avoid along the way. So we talk a lot about sweet spots in this. There's an inventory system in here, and I can't tell you how many people think restaurant inventory is about walking around figuring out what to order next week. No, that is not inventory. Inventory is calculating the true value of the goods you have on hand every single week for several weeks in a row so that you determine what your true food cost is. So everything in your walk-in, in your dry storage areas, any perishable, any freezer item, anything that is food related that goes on a plate that you serve to a customer is a valuable item. And I say if you don't take inventory, it's like leaving $100 bills all over your restaurant that people can just take, because you could be losing money every single day not knowing, am I losing money? Do I have a waste problem? Do I have a spoilage issue? Are people walking out the back door with a case of steaks? You wouldn't know that if you didn't take this. Once you figure out that you've hit your sweet spot, maybe that's 28%. That's a good food cost. It's higher in steakhouses and all that sort of thing. But once you hit what you believe to be your sweet spot, you're comfortable with that food cost. If you run inventory 4 weeks in a row and you get a 28, 28 and a half, 28, you know you're in your sweet spot. But if you take it 4 weeks in a row and you get a 28 one week and a 33 the next week and then a 31 the next week, you're all over the map. You don't know what your food cost is. You need this exercise to do that. So that's how the tutorials work. Okay, so down the left side of any one of these modules, it's everything listed within that module. So you can see maximizing profits, weekly sales compared, calculating break even, which I'm showing you now, how to create a profitable menu, plate cost. This is just the plate cost template of figuring out what does it cost me to serve that steak dinner to that customer. Comparing profitable items. Product mix or sales report is off anyone's point of sale system. It tells you the volume of sales of any given item over the course of a date range, whether that's a week, a month, a day. It'll literally zero in so that if you bought, a couple of peanut butter pies and they're very expensive to buy, and at the end of the night you see that there's 3 slices missing, you go to that report and it shows you we only sold 1. What happened to the other 2? So it allows you to really zero in, see if people are stealing from you or if you have a waste and a theft problem. Here's the master food inventory template. Again, it's a video explainer. It tells you the process from soup to nuts, what to do, what not to do, and that it includes the template to plug in all your information. This is a separate thing called food cost. It's the actual calculation. So inventory is a 2-step process. First, you have to list everything in the order that you would count it logically and efficiently in all the storage areas. And then once you calculate the value of all those things, then you go to the next spreadsheet and there's a formula on how to calculate food cost. And this is obviously a tutorial on that. Key item list are the things you most want to sell that are most profitable, and you figure out which things are most profitable and how to train your staff to suggest those things. Master beverage inventory, the same thing. You put together an inventory system for all the beverages, the soft drinks, the beer, the liquor, the wine, if you sell liquor, and how to calculate beverage cost. Labor cost is very, very important because that also is one of your largest expenses next to food. So how do you analyze your labor cost? And then here's how to pinpoint kitchen labor because it's the most important, or I should say it's the most expensive labor in your business. A schedule change authorization identifies labor cost abuses where people could be punching in 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 15 minutes early and not actually going to work. They're in the bathroom putting on their makeup. They're drinking a soda. They're talking to their friends. It's how to compare the schedule and when people are supposed to punch in to when they actually punch in. And it's a way of avoiding that abuse so that the manager signs off and says, yes, this person was supposed to be in at 4 o'clock. They came in at 3:30 because we had this to do. And if that person doesn't appear in this template, then you can go into your point of sale system and edit them that time so that you're not losing hundreds of dollars a week in unproductive hours. That's very powerful. And then some restaurants are seasonal, Court. They're only open in the summer or they're only open in the winter because there's no traffic during the off season. So this is how to put a budget together so that when you close, you're sitting on a pile of cash and then you anticipate what expenses am I going to have month by month by month until I reopen, and making sure you've got a cash cushion to purchase your inventory, to start your payroll, and to get rolling again before the cash flow kicks in. So that's really important also. And then, of course, back to course library gets you back to the rest of the program.
This is a massive amount of stuff, Roger.
Oh, yeah. It's robust. Court, literally, it's literally everything I've learned in 30 years of being in the restaurant business. And it's all about don't reinvent the wheel. It's like, why would you try to figure this stuff out if you're just starting a restaurant? But then there's all those operators out there where they say margins post-pandemic, profit margins are like 5 to 8% if you're doing okay. And there's a lot of restaurants on the verge of losing everything because they don't have these systems in place. We give you the systems, but it's more than that. It's really the results and the transformation of your business once you use your team to execute all these ideas. It's a really powerful formula. So then we have sales stars. This is the next meatiest piece that can make you a ton of money, because in my experience, even in dining out, and I'm sure you would say the same thing, Court, it's like you go out to dinner, how many restaurants do you go to where the staff are really dialed on all cylinders? They're so well trained that they know their products inside and out. You ask them a question, they can tell you everything about any menu item. They suggestively sell things. They tell you what they know that they think you're going to enjoy and appreciate, and that increases sales versus what'll you have? I'll write it down. I'll put it in the POS. When it's ready, I'll bring it to you, and then at the end of the meal, here's your check. That's the order taker. I get that so often when I travel. This is a crash course in hospitality. It includes pre-shift exercises. 30 days, every single day, there should be a pre-shift exercise that gives you a strategy before your team hit the floor. However, I don't want to mislead people into thinking this isn't for quick serve, fast casual, or food trucks. It is totally designed for either full service or counter serve people in any kind of operation. It's about what's hospitality, what are guests looking for, how do you learn everything about your restaurant or the menus so that you can make suggestions that increase sales and enhance the guest experience. So let's dive into a module really quick. This is the middle module on how to serve and how to sell. It's where the rubber really meets the road.
This next lesson is how to serve and how to sell. We talked about the order taker. They just go through the motions. They let the guests look at the menu and decide what sounds good. The order taker leaves lots of opportunity and money on the table. Sales stars find hidden opportunities. Hidden opportunities are things the guests may not know about or aren't even thinking about. But if we tell them, chances are likely they'll want it and order it. Let me tell you what I mean. Close your eyes for just a moment. I want you to imagine an iceberg floating on the surface of the ocean. Got it? Okay, open your eyes. See that ice on top of the water? I call this the land of the order taker. These are the sales in your restaurant every shift, every day that just happen. The guest has the menu, looks it over, and orders what sounds good to them. But look below the surface. These are the hidden opportunities that probably won't happen unless you tell the guest and make the suggestion.
So that's Sales Stars, and that's just one module. The first one teaches the basics of hospitality. Like I said, what are guests looking for? They want to be recognized, they want to be acknowledged, they want to be served. The second module, we just showed you a snippet of it, are all the powerful techniques once you have the product and restaurant knowledge on how to increase sales by giving choices, bringing those choices to life. We call it theater of the mind, making something sound so good that the guests can sort of see it, smell it, and taste it before it even comes out of the kitchen. You've made the sale. So it's proven exercises I used in all my restaurants, and we've got people around the world using Sales Stars that are increasing their sales, in some cases doubling and even tripling their sales through these techniques. And it totally obviously it shows the order taker sales. There's a comparison in there that is actually proven in one of my restaurants so many years ago, where I didn't train someone and I turned them loose on the floor, just allowing them to be themselves with their personality. And at the end of 3 months, their sales were so much lower than my veteran sales stars, and their tips were so much lower. I think the sales in a couple of months were like $20,000 less than any of my veterans. And the tips were, anywhere from 12% to 15%, when my sales stars tips were like 22%. There was a huge difference. So that's the difference between allowing order takers on the floor versus training people to be sales stars. So that's
love it.
Yeah, thank you. So there's quizzes on all this stuff too. So not only do you have pre-shifts, but there's quizzes that obviously train you on the module of Sales Stars. But then there's a bonus. We call it how to turn $100 into $1,000. And it's a really fun exercise where it's role playing and it's calling on people randomly in a more formal session. The pre-shifts are anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes each. They're quick hits. There's strategies on how to break ice at the table, how to introduce certain things, how to up-level the experience. But this one is a 20-minute exercise where you just get everybody together and we do role playing, and if they do a great job, they can win money and prizes and all kinds of stuff, and it really reinforces the concepts that are in Sales Stars. So then we have a marketing module. One of the most powerful things in here are trackable marketing and proven exercises that literally, if business comes through the door, you know where it's coming from and you know what the return on investment is. So all sorts of things. We have guest instructors. This is branding your restaurant. So let me go into that really quick. This is a course taught by someone else who's a restaurant marketing or branding expert, but it's an introduction to branding. So she literally tells you what is a brand, how do you achieve a brand. It's everything from logos to colors to fonts to consistency to, creating an image or an aura for your business. So we have that, logos, all this kind of stuff. Working with a designer, a positioning statement. So that would be the branding course. All right, then we're going to go back to marketing. I want to show you the Mug Club because that's super powerful also. Besides trackable ideas, we've got social media marketing, Making your place kid friendly, because kids often decide where the family goes out to eat. So how do you make your place super attractive so the kids want to go there if you have a kid friendly restaurant? But if you serve draft beer in your business, it is a huge way of bringing in memberships. Okay, this is a complete tutorial on how to start a mug club. This is an actual still photo from my flagship restaurant where 20 something years ago, I empowered my bar leader with this course. I said, you know what? Start a mug club. You know, this is your responsibility. And for every mug you sell, I'm going to give you $5 as an incentive. We sold the mugs for $55 a piece. So every one he sold, he got $5. We got $50 in free and clear cash flow. Why is that? Because I also teach you in this course how to get your mug club sponsored, because you do business with so many companies where you're going to spend lots and lots of money every year with these companies. And in return, they might want to put their logo on your mugs, and they might want to buy you a bunch of t-shirts for your club in exchange for you doing business with them and the exposure that you can provide them as you build this club. So this does not have to cost you anything. It can be absolutely free, and in my case, it was. So my bar leader started off with 25 mugs just to see what would happen right off the bat without going crazy. He sold those 25 mugs in one day to his bar customers. And there's value added and exclusivity and VIP service and all those elements we teach you in the course. But many years later, when I sold that restaurant in 2014, he had built that club from 25 members to 1,200 Mug Club members. And this is just a small snapshot of some of the hundreds and hundreds of mugs that were all over, overhead, underneath the shelves, on the walls. They were everywhere. And once you build a club to this level, the club starts to sell itself, or people walk in the door and they're like, I want to be part of that. Here's my $55. Thanks for the t-shirt. And then there's value added that goes along with it in the VIP service. Anyway, this is super powerful. So what did that mean to me in those years leading up to the sale of that business? $60,000 every year in free cash that just came in the door. And you might say, wow, I could use an extra 5, 10, 20, $60,000 in my business. What could I do with that? I could pay a leader to run my business, or new equipment purchases, or renovations, or whatever it is. You could do a lot of damage with tens of thousands of dollars of cash that doesn't cost you anything, right? But the kicker is this. I suddenly realized that people that used to come maybe twice a month to my restaurant are in there 3 and 4 days a week now, spending money, drinking the beer, eating the food, buying my retail merchandise. And then we had a photo contest, okay? Wear your t-shirt somewhere interesting in the world. And one of my suppliers donated a brand new $500 gas grill and 100 pounds of steak. That was a gift one year for the photo contest. None of this cost me anything. And people are throwing money at us to join the Mug Club. So this is how to do it. This alone has tens of thousands of dollars of ROI to it if you execute it and if you sell draft beer. So, you know, it's just kind of a tutorial on all that, how to do that, but super powerful stuff. And then lastly, we have the efficiencies module. So, oh yeah, new profit centers, because you don't want to just sell food and beverage. Maybe you want to start a retail program. If you go through that branding course and you really create a powerful brand, suddenly we have a tutorial in here on how to get retail merchandise and build a whole retail program. I think we sold $30,000 a month in retail in my flagship restaurant. It became
Holy
huge.
moly.
We teach you how to do that too. Efficiencies is literally how to squeeze every nickel of profit across your operation in every department. And it gets as nitty gritty as, hey, every bottle that comes into your place is probably returnable. And so many restaurants I've seen just throwing those things in the trash and they don't redeem those bottles. And that's like hundreds of dollars a week based on the volume of beverages you're serving in your business. Don't lose out on that, especially if you're selling lots of liquor. So that's just one example, but efficiencies is all about that. So we got sales stars, profit centers, efficiencies, logistics, restaurant finances, marketing, the menu profit course. It's all in the academy. So that's kind of what that's about.
It's amazing. So much good information. So, I mean, when people see this, where can they go to learn more about how they can join?
Yeah, so that's as simple as our website, which is restaurantrockstars.com. And the academy is all right there. And yeah, it's easy to sign up. You can sign up in 5 minutes, and then you create your team depending on how many people work in your restaurant that you want to go through the course. And you can say, hey, you put an inventory system in place, Mr. Kitchen Manager, or like I said, my bar leader. It's like, hey, go start a mug club. Here's the course, and then you can track their progress, like I said. So it's really about empowerment, because we believe that there's a huge difference between a manager and a leader, and delegating and empowering people to really run the business like they owned it and had to pay for it, with the recognition and rewards programs that go with it. And that's one thing I didn't show you. Recognition and rewards are definitely part of that human resources section on how to keep people happy, build morale, create your company culture. It's like I'm forgetting half the stuff that's in there, but I tried to give you an overview of what's there.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Roger. That is so much information. So go
Cool.
check out Restaurant Rockstars and sign up for the Academy.